It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report.
It has become our tradition over the past couple of years to pause around the mid-season point of our Southwest Outdoors Report and take a look back at some of our best fishing highlights from the first half of the year. And so on today's episode, that's exactly what we're going to do. We've had some great fishing trips in all 4 states of Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. And in the next half hour, we're going to be taking you around to some of our best highlights from the first half of the year. And while we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your weekly fishing reports from our team of reporters in all 4 states. So let's get you right back to the FSN studios, get things started with Julie and our weekend planner, and then it's on to the highlights.
The fishing tables for the weekend are indicating poor activity for both days. The best daylight times should start at 1:52 p.m. on Saturday and 2:45 on Sunday afternoon. Expect sunrise to take place at 6:47 with the sun setting at 8:17. And evenings will be mostly dark with a crescent moon 14% visible. We'll be right back with all the current freshwater and coastal fishing information from around our region. Plus, Edwin Evers joins us for the Whataburger Ask the Pro. First though, here's a look at some more entries from our Costa Catch of the Week contest that didn't win but are still worth sharing.
Thanks very much, Julie. Just in case you're curious, we're parked right now just in front of the Red River, just below the dam at Lake Texoma, and it reminds me of one very good fishing day that we began our year with early in the springtime before it warmed up. We caught some really nice stripers on Lake Texoma. Found birds working out here. Clear water, cold day, good fish. Got him in the net. All right. Let's gently ease him over here. The limit on Lake Texoma is 10 fish per person per day, and 2 of them can be over 20 inches, of which this is. We're going to keep a couple of stripers today, so we'll put him in the live well.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Costa Sunglasses. See what's out there. By Luz, setting a new standard in fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Strand Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability. And by Strike King Lures, #1 in fishing.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to our mid-season half-year in review episode, taking a look back at some of the best highlights from the first half of our 2013 season. One of the best things that happened was the single best day of bass fishing I've personally ever experienced. It happened down at Lake Austin, right inside the city limits of Austin, Texas. I caught not 1, but 2 giant bass on the same day. We'll show you a little of that and follow that with our fishing report from Oklahoma with Gary Dallahan. Look at that dude right there. There we go. Oh, good one. Big fish. Got her. Oh, baby, look at this. I may just have a new favorite lake for you right there. We got water all over the lens. 10 pounds and 5 ounces. How about that? Or 10.2. There, they finally locked in. 10 pounds, 2 ounces. That, my friend, is your Lake Austin special right there. Okay.
I'm sure a lot of you remember this great big old bass that Dale Miller caught earlier this year down at Little Cedar Lake in southeastern Oklahoma. 14 pounds, 13.7 ounces. It is the reigning state record bass. Now, it's also the second year in a row that the state record came from that tiny body of water. It's no accident that these big bass are showing up in Oklahoma. Each year, the Department of Wildlife stocks Florida strain largemouth. These are the species that can get really big all across the state. This year, a record stocking. 2.2 million fish went into 44 bodies of water, large and small, all across Oklahoma. Now, that's also the same reason why early this year down at Lake of the Arbuckles, you saw back-to-back weekends of tournaments there that had bags coming in for 5 fish limits weighing over 40 pounds. Some big bass showing up in Oklahoma. Thank you to the Department of Wildlife Conservation for that. Bass fishing in Oklahoma at this particular time, there are some lakes in northeastern Oklahoma that are up 4 or 5 feet. You can catch those bass pitching and flipping soft plastics into the cover. The rest of the state, where the lakes are either at or normal lake levels, fish that first break line 6 to 9 feet deep for those largemouth. Catfishing across the state is looking pretty good right now. I've talked to several catfishermen that are concentrating on the big reservoirs. They're really keying in on a 35-foot depth for those blue cats. They're either slow drifting or anchored over 35 foot of water, trying to keep that bait at that depth using cut or live shad to catch those catfish. Summertime fishing in Oklahoma, we've got a great summer going on, but one thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
Next up, it had been a couple of years since we had planned a fishing trip to the state of Arkansas, so we planned an expedition up to Lake Ouachita and DeGray, 2 great fishing lakes just outside Hot Springs, and we were richly rewarded with bass on both trips. Here's a quick look at Ouachita and DeGray. We'll be back right after the commercial break. That one hit a Strike King Tour Grade football jig. Don't jump off, just stay right there. There we go, nice bass right there. Just a good Ouachita chunk. And I'll show you all the equipment at the end of the show, but this is my first time to fish that football jig. And I love the way it bumps along rocks. Good spot. Come up in the boat with me, partner. There is a good Lake Ouachita spotted bass. I wanted to catch one of those for you. Been working real hard. That Strike King Tour Grade football jig does it again. But look at that. That's a beautiful Lake Ouachita spotted bass for you. You can tell them by the lines down their sides. If I zoomed in real close, they've got 2 little patches of teeth on their tongue. But that is a nice one right there. And there's a lot of these in Lake Ouachita. All right, back this fish goes. You caught our mid-season half-year in review episode, taking a look at the highlights from the first half, the 2013 season. We made 2 trips to famous Lake Fork, Texas, one for bass, but another for crappie, and we caught good fish both times. Here's a quick look, followed by Cajun Phil and Kevin with your weekly fishing reports from the state of Louisiana. All right. Hey, there's another one for you. We're at Lake Fork today talking about transition crappie, moving them out from spawning beds out where they're headed in the summertime. And got it. She finally got it. That takes a lot of patience, more patience than most people probably have. There we go. Okay, well, we're bed fishing for bass today on Lake Fork. I don't do this really very often, but every once in a while when you got good chunks like this that are up there in 3 or 4 feet of water and I can see them, these sunglasses, I mentioned these coastas, it's just too tempting, and so I get up there and do it. Okay, buddy, she's gonna still get to go back and spawn. Catch your breath, watch her, she's gonna swim off. Just like that.
You know, we just got back from the ICAST show, which is very interesting because that's where all the new companies are showing brand new products they have for the following year. And I want to start off by just to mention a couple of them to you. You can go online and see really what they got. Bass Assassin's coming out with a lot of new baits right now. Go to bassassassin.com. You can order them direct from Bass Assassin. They'll ship them straight to your house. Captain Kevin and I, at the show, we stopped by the Lou's booth to see what they had. They're coming out with a new series of inshore reels, both spin cast and bait cast. Do the same thing, Lou's.com. Go on the internet, see what they got, then you can ask for it at your local sporting goods store, and hopefully they'll have it. If not, tell them to get them for you. Minn Kota, wow, Minn Kota's coming out with all kind of new things. Keep in mind, Minn Kota does make the Talon, which is the shallow water anchor. They're coming out with one that will go 10 to 12 foot of water. So if you fish deep water, now you can have yourself a shallow water anchor. Hummingbird's another one that we're real excited about. You know, the side view imaging was so successful, everybody copied it. Now they got the 360. What that does, folks, you're sitting out in the middle of the lake, you had some school fish come through, and you've lost them. The birds are gone. What you do with that 360, you could actually see where they went all the way around the boat. A lot of new products coming out. Go on the internet, look them up, see what they got. Go to your dealers, ask for it, tell them, get them in there. If they don't, contact the people direct, see if you can put your hands on them.
Thanks very much, Cajun. And seeing Cajun reminds me of one of the best fishing days for speckled trout that I've ever experienced. It happened this season on Big Lake, Lake Calcasieu, where we caught some giant speckled trout. That's Captain Kevin Broussard with another one of those bad girls.
Oh, big trout. There's your trout. That's your trout. Yes, there's your trout. Look,
All right,
6 pounder, 6 pounder.
All right, look at this. Look at what I have caught.
You caught him too quick.
This is a big Lake Calcasieu speckled trout right there.
Good job, man. Good
How about
job.
that? We're with
That's a pretty one.
Captain Kevin Broussard today.
Cajun Paradise Lodge and Charters on Calcasieu Lake.
If you want to come down here and book a trip, we'll give you all the information at the end of the show. Any way you want to contact these folks, but you can come down here and literally catch the speckled trout of your lifetime right here. And I will tell you, Kevin, the biggest trout I've ever caught in my life has been 24 inches, and that's probably
going to be pretty close. I'll check him out for you.
Or bigger than that right there.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors, engineered for anglers. By Whataburger, just like you like it. And by Nitro Performance Bass Boats, pure performance.
We're still going with our greatest hits, our highlight package of best fishing trips in the first half of our 2013 season. And one of those most certainly was a trip we made to Cooper Lake in northeast Texas, catching big hybrid striped bass. It's one of the best hybrid lakes in our region. We show you some of that action, followed by your weekly fishing reports from Brian Hughes, freshwater fishing in Texas, and then Bill Olson on the Texas Gulf Coast. Oh, that's a big dude right there. Oh, I got him in the net. Woo! Look at this. Oh, man. Big hybrid. All caught up in the net. Man. All right, well, I'm not going to take the time to get him all undone, but that's to show you what can happen out here. Big old hybrid that grow huge. They're in lakes around our region. They're a blast to catch.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Camo-Ramic. Remember, Camo-Ramic can wrap your old truck and make it look brand new again. Now this week we're talking about some of the hottest weather this summer so far, so let's visit our rivers where the current both cools and oxygenates the water. That means more active, more catchable fish. Now first of all, keep the current in mind which way the river is flowing. You want to throw your baits upriver, let the current bring them back down past the pieces of cover to the fish you're trying to catch. Now with bass, this means using your spinner baits and crank baits. Throw them up past the rocks, logs, or brush and bring it back by. For your catfish, you'll want to throw your cut bait or prepared bait up into the eddy or calm spot on the back side of that cover. Now, above Lake Whitney on the Brazos River is a good place to go bass fishing, and guides tell me that below the dam they have released some water which let out some of the biggest stripers they have on the lake, and you can catch those big stripers below the dam on Whitney, but you have to watch for when they cut off the water flow. That might leave you stranded. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Camo-Ramic. Let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, Forever Last Hunting and Fishing Products brings you this week's report. With hunting seasons approaching, visit a sporting goods retailer or the Forever Last website for great hunting products, like their 300-pound feeder, tailgate feeder, and tree hugger. Pick a pair of snake boots, shields or chaps, and a hunting belt or shell holder, game hanger, tripod, and much more. Visit foreverlast.com and type in Fox for a 20% discount on great products. Well, fishing has picked back up now that winds have returned to the south or southeast direction. On Sabine Lake, the birds have been working mid-lake, while anglers drifting clam beds on the south shoreline have caught both trout and reds in water 2 to 4 feet deep. Throughout Galveston and southward to east and west Matagorda, tides have come back in and fish are working that water around back lakes and marshes. The deeper shell reefs and pads remain good in Galveston, and the mouths of back bays that empty into the ICW around Freeport and the backside of Matagorda Peninsula and Island are holding fish. Also, don't forget the surf when the winds are light. Now, near shore out of Freeport, bull reds, gaff top, and small sharks are being caught in 35 feet of water. Further offshore, boats are chasing shrimp boats and are finding blackfin tuna, dorado, and ling. Mid-coast anglers in San Antonio Bay continue to fish the reefs. The backside of St. Joe Island, around Mud Island, Stedman's, and the inside of Dagger are good options for trout and reds. So is East Flats behind Mustang Island. Live, cut bait, and topwaters early and late are catching trout and reds. Now, out of Port Isabel, south of Cullens, is holding good redfish. The Intercoastal Waterway and Tompkins Channel has trout, drum, and a few flounder. South Bay is the place to look for snook and mangrove snapper. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
And now we finish up this segment with one of the few times in my life that I've caught several fish on one lure on the same cast. It happened at Richland Chambers Reservoir in east central Texas, and of course, it happened on the famous umbrella rig. How many times can you do that? I've got one hybrid, and it looks like maybe a smaller hybrid. I'm going to use this opportunity to tell you that we're going to a commercial break right here, but as we do, I want to mention something. Our Costa Catch of the Week contest has been a big hit this year. We have got photos pouring in from all over the region from thousands of our viewers, and we can never get to all those. Only one a week can actually be the winner. So what we're going to start doing over the next few weeks is just showing a few of these that weren't actual winners, but are still good photos from good fans of ours all over our 4-state region.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Mercury, the official outboard of the Southwest Outdoors Report for 11 years running, by Academy, right stuff, low price, every day, and by Tracker Boats, fish the finest.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for our Whataburger Ask the Pro question. This week, Brett in Tomball, Texas wants to know, I hear pros talking about the sweet spot when structure fishing. How do I find the sweet spot when fishing offshore structure? For the answer, we asked Bassmaster Elite Angler Edwin Evers.
You know, when we're all out there structure fishing, we want to find that sweet spot. But the question is, how do you find it? You just got to fish it. You got to fish all the way down that ledge or all the way around that point, and it can be just something very small. It can be just a little bit bigger rock, or it can be a clean spot in the grass bed, or it can be one particular stump. It's just found by trial and error, time on the water, making lots of casts, and where you get that cast, make another cast exactly to the same spot. A lot of times I'll use lineups on the bank, I'll drop a waypoint. I want to make that same exact cast and find out for sure if that is a sweet spot. That is the best way to find it, just making multiple casts, covering a lot of water, and you'll eventually come across it.
Thanks, Edwin. If you have a question to ask one of the pros, go to southwestouttdoorsreport.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and send us your information. Now let's see whose photo wins a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Thanks, Julie. Before we get to our Costa Catch of the Week winner for this week, I want to show you one more quick highlight package. That's from the sleeper lake of the season. We ventured down to Somerville Lake, north of Brenham, Texas, for the very first time. Never seen the lake before, but boy, did we do well with some nice-sized crappie, a couple of good-sized largemouth bass. Something has hit my crankbait here, and it feels like a good fish. It is a good fish. And just in this instance, I pulled my net out just for this very thing to happen, and look at this. All right, there is you a Somerville largemouth bass there, balled up in the net, and he's got my Strike King Series 5 crankbait right underneath the gill plate there, but I think I can, there we go. How about that? There's you a nice chunk right there. Well, that shows what else is in this lake. We got good largemouth bass here. Gonna let this one go back here pretty quick. It's summertime, we don't want to stress him too bad. See you there, buddy. And our winner this week of the Costa Catch of the Week contest is Chuck Weeks of Medicine Park, Oklahoma. And he's shown here with a 10-pound largemouth bass at one of my favorite lakes in the western half of Oklahoma, Lake Latonka, located just outside Lawton, Oklahoma. Now, he caught it on the second cast of the day, and Chuck wins his choice of any pair of Costa sunglasses. If you'd like to see all the Costa frame and lens styles, go to the front page of our website, click on the Costa logo, and you can see all of their sunglass styles, including the frame style that I'm wearing on this week's episode, double haul in the camo colored frames. Also, if you'd like to enter your big fish photo in our contest, just go to the right side of the front page of our website, click in that box that says Costa Catch of the Week, follow the instructions, and you too could win your very own pair of Costa sunglasses. On the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature, I just want to mention how proud I am of the most important piece of gear we have each week, and that's the Nitro Z8 bass boat, fully rigged, that we depend on to get us to the fish each and every week here on the show. It all begins on the transom back there with the Mercury Optimax Pro XS outboard. That engine has never given us 1 second of trouble. It's very fuel efficient, it's fast and powerful. Who could want more in an outboard? The Nitro Z8 is rigged up with all the nice stuff that keeps us in full comfort each week and allows us to get right on those fish. And up on the bow of our Nitro Z8 is the Motor Guide Tour Edition 36-volt trolling motor. Has all the power we need to get us to the fish and keep us on them all day long with never a moment's problem. But there's even better news coming from Motor Guide. Brand new product coming your way soon, and we'll be telling you much more about that in the coming few weeks. Hey, don't forget to join us next week for our show at 10:30 Thursday night, 8 o'clock Saturday morning. If there are ever any last-minute changes, you'll see those on the front page of our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com, where you can also see the latest episode of our show 24/7 right on the front page. You can click on the Facebook logo at the top of the screen for lots of news, photos, and video that we don't have time for here on our show, and click on the YouTube logo down below to see all the archived past episodes of our show, along with lots of how-to videos. We'll see you next week in the second half of our 2013 season. Until then, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.